Fellas, today we're watching 100 Zack D Films shorts. Ignore the tally in the video, it was glitched. It's gonna start at 333, it ends at 444. Lock in!
Edges together, the wound becomes inflamed as new cells begin to repair the tissue. Afterwards, connective tissues and collagens start to create skin. Then, blood vessels form to nourish these developing tissues, filling in the area. And over a few weeks, the wound will have healed together and the stitches are removed.
Wow, a few things I'm noticing. First of all, first video of the day, 334. One of many. Second thing I notice, this video does not have subtitles. That must be a new Zack D Films edition. If you watch his newest videos, there are subtitles. This one does not have subtitles. Fascinating. Now that I know how stitches work, I can be very educated. Let's go to the next one.
Guys, another mess.
That is not Zack D Films. Algorithm, can we lock in? What is happening right now? This is H1T1 John Casterline. Screw it, let's watch it either way.
Of graduation fail just happened. This time around, the school is in trouble for using AI. What a plot twist. Basically, whoever was in charge of announcing the names at this college decided to make their job a little bit easier and use AI to do so. And the AI skipped over
John D Films. Listen, I think the reason is that I opened it in a new tab like this. You can't do that. You gotta just click on the video. And then you get into the Zack D Films. There we go. You know what, fellas? Chat, can we run a poll? Does that count as a video? Can I count that one H1T1 John Casterline short as a video? Can I bring the tally to 335? Be honest. Let's run the poll. Yes or no? Yes or no? Does it count? All right, I'm seeing an overwhelming yes. I'm seeing an overwhelming yes. Huh. I am seeing an overwhelming yes. All right, we're counting John Casterline as part of the Zack D Films video. John, you got very lucky in that moment. Very lucky shorts poll by John. Wait, hold on. I need to move this over here. All right. Let us leave. 5 million likes. How splinters get unstuck.
If you get a splinter, most people just go ahead and pull them out. But sometimes they get lodged so deep into your skin that you can't reach them. If the area gets infected, it will start to swell as pus forms under the skin. This creates pressure around the splinter that can sometimes push it upwards towards the skin's surface.
First thing I noticed, this video has subtitles and the last one doesn't. Zack, why did you not subtitle the last one?
And if you're lucky,
Wait! The iconic blue background of Zack D Films. We didn't get this last time. I feel like he stopped doing this in his new videos. Bro, this is not pre-recorded. I'm live. That's disgusting. I'm sorry. Listen, if you want to be a doctor, you gotta watch Zack D Films. Sorry to break it to you. He doesn't do this blue background anymore. Zack, you should bring it back. It's iconic to your brand.
After a certain period of time, your body could have completely removed it from your skin. If you get a...
Interesting. So your body tends to eat the splinter. I'm not gonna lie, these popular shorts so far are more educational than funny, interesting, or zany. I'm gonna give that one a C tier. Although, I imagine a lot of people at school are watching this video. That's why it has so many views. I think it's skewed. Let's go to the next one.
Have you ever noticed how odd the...
I've seen this short. This is the first one, too, that we have watched video number 336 with real-life people in it. I think in Zack's old shorts, he used to make IRL videos before it became animated, which is interesting. We got a $5 Canadian donation. I'm going to beat you in subs. I declare you my rival. All right, bro. Listen, we'll see. Let's see how far you are, matter of fact. What are we working with, brother? 13 subscribers. Pfft. I still have this open? Yeah, good luck, buddy. Good luck. You're going to have to make a few YouTube shorts if you want to win that rivalry, unfortunately. Listen, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's an uphill battle. Let's go to the next one. I mean, let's continue the current one.
McFlurry spoon is? Well, some people think it's supposed to work like a straw, but you only have to try that once to realize.
Zack Digoon, really, bro. You have copy and pasted Zack Digoon into the chat literally 8 times. You want me to see it that bad. You think that's so funny. You got to say it that many times. You're still spamming it. All right.
It does not work. The true reason for these weird spoons is actually pretty genius. You see, McDonald's didn't want to clean their beaters after every McFlurry, so instead, they designed a spoon that would also work as the mixer. Have you ever noticed how odd the McFlurry?
That is a good short, a twist on a classic. Everyone knows the straw, but nobody knows its purpose unless you're an employee. Which I imagine there's not a lot of those. Oh. My Chinese phone gave me a notification. Fellas, this is my Chinese phone. I'm getting a notification to get on Dajong Blast. It says, come back and... Yeah, I'm not going to... I don't feel like playing Mahjong Blast right now. Sorry. I'm going to give that short an S tier. For the first non-animated one, that one's pretty good. I like that. All right, let's go to the next one.
If you shot a bullet at ancient armor, some people think it could actually stop the impact. But armor like chainmail was designed to block slashing
You read the chat? Yes, bro, I do read the chat.
swords. And plate armor was even better at deflecting strikes by spreading the blunt force across more area.
That is so genius. Oh, so plated armor is for blunt damage such as clubs and maces. Chained armor is to defend against slashing damage such as swords.
Lessening its impact.
You learn something new every day, bro. If you're looking for information, every day you can learn.
But these materials weren't very good at stopping arrows, which had enough energy to enter the armor, so a bullet would have no trouble going right through.
Interesting.
If you
Wait, I'm gonna give that short an A tier. I found that fascinating. Bro, what is happening on this one? Brother, is this Attack on Titan? Like, he has a Titan coming out of his body. How long are your blood vessels? I learned this in Poppy Playtime Chapter 4. Or maybe it was Chapter 3. There's a myth that your blood vessels can go around the entire Earth. That's false. Roughly, your blood vessels stretched out in a line can cover 1/3 of the Earth's circumference. Let me fact check that with this Zack D Films short. We got a donation by DKK. Will you ever get into VR? Unfortunately, no. I wear glasses, so you're not allowed to... You can't wear VR headsets with glasses on. I wouldn't be able to see what's happening. Yeah, it's my disability. All right, let's go to the next video. I mean, let's watch this one.
You somehow removed all of the blood vessels in your body and tied them together. You might think it would be about this long.
It's much longer.
But the human body has thousands of these tiny vessels that weave in and out of every body part. And with all of them combined, if you started in New York, your blood vessels would make it all the way to the Grand Canyon. It would go on to reach all the way across the Pacific Ocean, over Japan, Asia, and all of Europe. And not only would it make it
This short might be factually incorrect off of a myth.
all the way back to your starting point, but it would be able to make this trip 2 to 4 times over.
That is not true. No, Zach, I'm going to have to give that one a D tier. That is incorrect information. Listen, Kyrgyzat made a video debunking this literally, bro. These are lies. Wait, let me increase the tally for that video. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Let me disprove it. Look, we fell for the oldest lie on the internet. That is wrong. I'm not going to watch the video, but the fact that this exists is proof enough. Zach, that was misinformation. Although I never watched that one before. That was a cool short. Let's go to the next one.
When a doctor gives you a shot, they can sometimes accidentally push the needle all the way through your vein.
Bro, is that gonna kill you? That's actually uncomfortable to look at.
Which ends up puncturing both sides. Once the needle is removed, it leaves 2 holes in the vein. And before the body can thicken the blood and seal these holes, it bleeds into the surrounding tissues.
Wait, I'm the fact guy now because I've watched a lot of Zack D film shorts at this point. He literally said in another short, if you're on death row and you're obese, they can't kill you because they can't find the needle into your vein. So, I don't know where I'm going with that.
This leaked blood forms a dark, tender area under the skin, creating bruises and splotchy areas.
Interesting. And you know what? Not gonna lie. Very informational. I'm gonna give that one an 8 B tier. Let's go to the next one.
If everyone on Earth clipped their toenails and threw them into the ocean, you might think they'd float and blanket a huge area. But toenails don't actually float, so they would...
Zack, how is this your 8th the most viewed YouTube short in all of history? Why did this one get so many views? This seems a little bit... eclectic.
Pile up at the bottom of the ocean. As over 82 billion clippings rain down, it would choke fish and smother the seafloor until a massive pile broke through the surface. And after this global clipping, you would have a walkable toenail island, 10 times bigger than Central Park.
This is the type of thing you'd send to your mom, not gonna lie. My mom would like this short. She'd think it's very funny. I'm gonna give that one an A tier. No. That might be an S tier, actually. It's a little bit gross, but I love the hypothetical Zack D Films videos. I like the hypothetical ones. Oh. All right, let's go to the next one.
When a firing squad shoots a prisoner, one of the bullets actually isn't real. You see, one of the rifles is loaded with a blank, but it still fires and kicks back when the trigger is pulled. The soldiers aren't told which rifle it is, casting doubt on who actually shot and killed the man. This way, the soldiers can feel less guilty and sleep at night, knowing there was a chance that they weren't the one to kill him.
That is so clever. But why do they need people to kill them? Why don't they just like throw people in machines to kill them? I feel like that's a simpler answer to this problem. Then these people don't have to carry around any kind of guilt. Get on that one, U.S. government. I'm gonna give that one an A tier. Let's go to the next video.
Have you ever wondered how this trick is done? It's one of the...
Oh, this is a OG Zack D Films. Not only can you tell his voice is different, but it's videos. It's not animated. Okay, I never watched a Zack D Films short this old.
One of those things where you know he can't actually be making the salt disappear, but it's still confusing to look at. Well, it turns out that the simplest explanation is the right one. Look closely at his hand during this shot. Do you notice how he sort of grabs his thumb here? Well, this is because he's using a prop called a Dofi finger. He holds it in his fist like a cup, fills it up with the salt, gets it onto his other thumb, and then grabs it off his thumb back into the first position. Watch it again and see if you can notice. Have you ever wondered how this
That's a fake
trick
thumb?
is done? It's one of those things where you know he can't actually...
Wait a minute. That's the fake thumb. No, I don't know. I'm lost. Interesting though, Zack. I'm gonna give that one a B tier. I prefer the animated content. I'm glad that you pivoted to that later on in your career. Let's go to the next video.
If you lose one of your adult teeth,
Bro, why is the tooth backwards?
the bone where the tooth once was can start to deteriorate. To prevent
Oh, that was the enamel under the tooth. Got it.
further damage, a dentist will fill the cavity with a synthetic material that mimics real bone. Once filled, a metal bracket is secured on top and the incision is closed.
Wait, can't people that have this in their mouth, can't they literally not even eat like Captain Crunch? Is that a myth or did I learn that as a kid? I learned that if you have metal in your mouth, in your teeth and whatnot, there's too much iron in Captain Crunch cereal that it will create like an electrical shock in your teeth. Is that true or no? I don't know if that's true or not. Myth, myth, myth. Oh. Bro, somebody lied to me as a kid then. I will say too, his animation is not as good on this one. The animation upgraded on the newer shorts.
After the graft has healed, a large implant post is inserted into the new bone. Then a small metal piece is screwed in and a porcelain tooth is secured on top.
Porcelain? Zack, what kind of adjective is porcelain? Let me fact check that word. Oh my god. Porcelain. Let me get a dictionary definition. Porcelain is a hard, durable, and non-preposterous ceramic material. Oh, I thought porcelain meant like water could go through it. I think that word means, I think that I was thinking of, I don't know.
If they
Let's go to the next video.
opened the pallet of ammunition only to find it was full of Tootsie Rolls. You see, Tootsie Roll was a code name for mortar rounds, which the Marines desperately needed. But the radio operator who received the order didn't know that and sent the actual candy instead.
Yo, why would this dude send that? You gotta be dumb as bricks. Bro, you know what? Maybe it's their fault. Why didn't they fill him in with the code word? No, there's a lot of people at fault in this situation.
At first, the Marines were angry, but the sub...
Imagine you're in war and you get your supply drop and it's literally Tootsie Rolls. No, bro, I would be mad.
Freezing temperatures had frozen all their food, and the candies ended up sustaining them over the next few days. They even used them to plug bullet holes by warming them up and letting them freeze in place.
It's always so crazy how resourceful humans can be in dire situations.
And eventually, the real mortar rounds did arrive.
Okay, that is a cool story. I think I'm gonna give that one an S tier. He should reanimate his classics, cause like that would be a good one to redo. I don't know if he ever has done that before, but I'm gonna give that one an S tier. Let's go to the next video. Wait, I have to go. Yo, why is his knuckles so red? Yo, he was not very good at using that before. This might be a historical Zack D Films short. Hear me out. We noticed a very strange pattern yesterday watching 333 of these. That pattern being, Zack D Films really likes to make videos about cutting wood. This might be the advent of the wood cutting shorts. Just off of the fact that this one performed so well. I mean, you can't see it under my face cam, but it has 118 million views. I think that this might have caused everything.
You accidentally touched a table saw.
Oh, do not attempt. Oh, okay.
You'd probably think your fingers would be cut off. But this isn't always the case. You see, some modern high-end saws actually know the difference between wood and your skin. Once your finger comes in contact with these special saws, it immediately detects the electrical conductivity from your skin. This triggers an
This is similar to what happens when you have metal in your mouth and you eat Captain Crunch.
Immediate mechanical response that stops the blade in less than 5 milliseconds. If you accidentally...
I want to test that, but that'd be so scary. Oh my god, chat. Let's take a moment to appreciate 1,000 concurrent viewers. Thank you, guys. I know there's probably a lot of you guys first time in the stream. I appreciate you coming in. I gotta say that. Let's continue. I'm gonna give that video A tier. I think it's fascinating.
When a honeybee stings a human, they actually get stuck for a while and can't leave.
What?
And this is because their stinger is barbed, which means it can't retract once it's lodged into something.
Do they literally have to like rip it off of their booties?
But once the bee finally pulls away, its insides get ripped out because the stinger stays in the skin.
L biology, bro. Imagine. That is genuinely messed up biology. to sting someone, you have to like that's like if every time I punched a person with my fist, my arm had to come off. Like, bro.
This leaves the bee without some of its internal organs, resulting in its death.
Oh, that's why they die. Oh, bro, honeybees do not deserve this. I'm gonna give that one an F tier for being incredibly sad. Let's go to the next one.
Have you ever wondered about this little dangly thing at the back of your throat?
That's called a uvula.
Well, even though it looks like a miniature punching bag, it actually serves a handful of important functions. You see, when you swallow food, this thing called a uvula actually swings backwards to prevent the food from going up your nose. It's also constantly producing saliva to keep the throat moist, which aids in swallowing. And
I thought that the saliva came from the bottom. Like, just me saying that probably activated everyone's saliva glands watching this. Like, it comes from down there, like under your tongue, I thought.
because there's a tiny muscle
I love femboys. All right, bro. You thought no one would see that message.
inside the uvula, it can move around, which helps you speak. Have you ever wondered about this?
Did not mean to like that video. That is a little bit gross, but informative. I'm gonna give it a B tier. Good one, Zach. Let's get to the next one.
A red-hot iron is pushed into the tree, wounding it on purpose. Then a syringe filled with salt water is emptied inside the hole. This causes the tree to flood the damaged area with sticky resin to stop the damage. And over the next few years, the resin slowly spreads, turning into a sweet-smelling wood deep inside the trunk.
Wait, I think I've heard about this.
Finally, it's harvested and sold for thousands of dollars per pound before being made into a luxury perfume.
Whoa, I want to smell the wood. Wait, can I buy this? Does anybody know the name of this wood? I don't think he said it in the video, no? Fascinating show, I'm going to give it an A tier. But I want to find this.
Red hot iron is pushed in a syringe.
I feel like this process has got to be way easier than the price is worth it. I think the tree is probably rare as well. It's called oud. It's called oud. How much does it cost to get oud? An intensely fragrant oil. Wait, that's a oil? No, I want the wood. I don't want the oil, I want the wood. Oud wood. Tom Ford Beauty. No, I don't want the fragrance. I want the wood. Where can I purchase the wood? I guess you can't buy the wood. You can only buy the perfume. All right, that's unfortunate. I want to smell good. I want to smell nice wood. I don't want to smell like oil. Let's go to the next video.
If you stuck a long sword
Oh, I've seen this one.
out of a car aiming for a tree, the sword would obviously snap and rip from your hands. But what if the sword is unbreakable? You have an indestructible grip and your body is physically immovable. Well, the force would then transfer to the car. It would screech to a halt as the sword hits. But what if the car can't stop?
Actually, I think that you would go around it in a circle, no? You wouldn't just stop. Like, there's forward momentum from the car moving forward. You would pivot around the tree.
And is forced to keep moving. Now the tree should split in half. But if the tree is indestructible too, with no way to break,
Oh, I thought the tree was indestructible on the last one. Never mind.
bend, or stop, the energy has nowhere to escape. Would this unleash a massive shockwave as powerful as a nuclear explosion? Or worse, something reality itself isn't equipped to contain?
I just hit 100 views in a minute. You are losing. All right, bro. You live in Canada. Who's the real loser? I'm going to give that video an A tier. I like the hypothetical situation. I find it fascinating. Let's go to the next one.
If you're stuck in a water slide that's filling up with water, most people think they should try to climb back up. But the slippery surface makes this nearly impossible. Instead, focus on staying calm and try to create space for air by tilting your head back. If water keeps rising, use your hands to push yourself forward. If you can't move, brace yourself as the water fills the slide entirely. Once the pressure equalizes, you may be able to push forward and float to safety. If you're
I like the way he like yells at the end. If I were stuck in a water slide, I feel like I would just accept my loss. At the end of the day. Really, bro, you're going to argue with me in the donations why Canada is better than the US. Free healthcare, who's lunatic? All right, bro, enjoy finding healthcare. You're going to be sitting in the hospital for 80 hours before you get any kind of care. You will die in the office before they even tend to your needs. I'm sorry, bro. I'm going to give that short a B tier. That was uncomfortable. I don't like the idea of drowning in a slide. Let's go to the next one.
Imagine waking up in a coffin and realizing that you were mistakenly buried alive.
They should do that one to Mr. Beast.
Now, this wouldn't happen with the medical guidelines we have today. But in the 19th century,
Oh, no. Don't tell me of a situation where this happened, man.
coffins were found with scratch marks on the inside, making this a legitimate concern. So as a solution, they started adding strings inside the coffins that traveled up to the ground and were connected to a little bell.
That can't be true. You need so many little bells. You need so much rope. That doesn't seem worth it.
And if you woke up
Like, why don't they just, like, wait a few days before they bury people? Have a dead body pile, a village dead body pile. Once they haven't moved for, like, 3 days, then you can bury them. Or use their bodies as a source of fire and warmth.
underground in a coffin, you could just ring the bell, signaling that you're still alive. Imagine
That was interesting. I did not like it, though. Just like the slide one, it's uncomfortable. I'm going to want a B tier. Let's go to the next video.
if you're trapped
I've seen this one, too. I think I saw Sambucha test
in the
this.
trunk of a vehicle, you should immediately start searching for the glow-in-the-dark release hatch. If you don't see the latch, don't panic. Trunks are not airtight, so there's no risk of running out of oxygen. Try feeling around the edges of the trunk for a handle. This may allow you to release the seat back. As a last resort, kick out one of the brake lights. This small opening will allow you
You can kick out the lights? That seems like a design flaw.
to signal for help.
Oh. Chat, if you were driving and you saw someone going like, help me, would you do anything? I don't know if I want to get involved with that. Like, what if the guy driving the car is a murderer? Pff, I'm gonna pick my battles. Crack. Really, bro, crack. You see this character in a Zack D films and you say crack. All right.
When you
I'm going to give that one a B tier. Wait, that was also a claustrophobic short. What? Sambucha is dead. Bro, Sambucha did not die, bro. Sambucha did not die. What do you mean Sambucha died? Hold on. Bro, Sambucha did not die, bro. Sambucha did not die. What are we talking about? The day that Sambucha dies is the day that everything just falls apart in the world. All right, let's go to the next one. We have a derma roller. I've learned about these. I've seen it on the TikTok shop. They say that if you get a rolling derma roller, it comes in at a 45-degree angle, and it hurts your skin. You want a derma stamp. I don't know if that's true, though. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I probably just heard that from some chud on TikTok.
You use a derma roller. It pushes a bunch of tiny needles into your face, creating small punctures across the surface. Your brain perceives these small holes as wounds, which triggers your body's natural healing response. The body then sends out cells to make collagen and elastin, which helps your skin stay firm and stretchy. Over time, these cells strengthen the skin, giving a firmer and more youthful appearance.
That is such a clever invention. Does that actually work? That's kind of just smart, though. Wow, humans really are clever, aren't they? Let's go to the next one. I'm going to give that one an A tier.
A tiny nail is placed inside the drilled hole. Then it's glued shut and repainted. This makes one side of the die heavier, causing the opposite side to land face up more often, allowing you to cheat. Another method is heating the die slightly, with the number you want pointing upward.
What? Oh, because the heat rises, so it weighs it to the top one.
As it cools down, the melted part settles unevenly, which changes
Oh, it melts it.
its balance, making it more likely to land on your chosen number. And sometimes, certain sides of the die are shaved down to make them flatter. The flatter side doesn't roll as easily, making it land on the bottom with the number you want facing up.
Whoa, there's so many clever ways to cheat in this world. That one might be an S tier, I'm not gonna lie. I just find that so fascinating, like the clever ways that people figure out how to game the system. Like, nah, you dumb. Alright, bro. Listen, I'm trying to educate myself. You say I'm dumb now. By the time I've watched 1,000 Zack D Films shorts, we'll see who's dumb. Let's go to the next video.
If you get a skin tag, some people think you can just rip them off yourself, but you actually shouldn't do this. You see, skin tags are connected to your body by a thin piece of tissue, and if you looked inside of it, the tag actually has its own nerves and blood vessels. Ripping it off would cause significant bleeding, and the open wound would be susceptible to infection. Instead, if you want them removed, a doctor can freeze them off with liquid nitrogen, which is a better option.
Oh my god, wait, I actually did this when I was a kid. No, bro, I literally did this when I was a kid. I had one of these on my knee, and my mom went to the store. I did this myself. I didn't even know what was going to happen. It was just like this tube, and I was like, what is this tube? Apparently, it'll get it off. So I just used it. You press down on it, and it like froze it off, and it hurt. I didn't even know what was going to happen. I was like, oh my god, what is happening to my knee right now? And then it came off and never came back. So, you know what? It worked out. I can't believe I actually relate to this video. I'm going to give that one an A tier. B tier. Let's go to the next one.
Have you ever wondered why the letter E isn't used to grade? Teachers use...
I think I know this one. Let me run a prediction here. I think it's because people would confuse E for excellent, and they didn't want the grading system to be confusing.
A, B, C, D, and F, but they skip E. Why is this? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. You see, back in the day, schools did use the letter E, but in the 1930s, they decided to stop after students and parents thought that it meant excellent.
No, that's at least one IQ point acquired from that.
It was quickly replaced with F, because F for failed made more sense.
That's fire. I'm gonna give that one an E tier. Let's go to the next one.
The soldier's foot would break through a hidden bamboo slat and into a hole if they stepped onto a cartridge trap. Inside, a bullet was positioned on top of a nail that was fastened to a wooden board. And when the soldier's foot hit this shell, it pushed the nail into the primer. This caused the shell to suddenly explode and shoot back up at the soldier. The soldier's
Oh, I wanted to see him get shot. I feel like that one was cool, but the animation could have left more to desire. I'm going to give that one a C tier, Zack. Wow. Every single short we've watched so far today has over 1 million likes. That is so crazy. I didn't realize he had so many hits. Let's go to the next one. Lock in.
If you plucked out a single strand of your hair, it could hold about 40 pennies without breaking. But if you braid just half of all your hair into a rope, the combined strength could hold up a large SUV. And if you add in all of your hair into the rope, it could withstand about 15 metric tons, which is about the weight of a young gray whale.
Hair is so strong. It must be all the collagen from derma rolling. That's a +1 IQ as well. I used my knowledge from the past. I'm gonna give that one an A tier. Let's go to the next.
When a tiny frog
Oh, the animation is good on this one.
Drops into a giant tarantula's burrow. It seems like it's walking right into a trap. But the spider checks the frog with its legs, and if the frog has the right chemical signals, it's safe. The frog helps by munching on ants that could attack the spider's eggs. In return, the tarantula becomes the frog's bodyguard, scaring off bigger predators. It makes the frog seem like a pet, but they're really just tolerant roommates.
I have said this many times while watching Zack D films. Nothing in the world is more wholesome than when two separate species animals are like homies. Bro, it makes me think that world peace is achievable when I see this. That is so cute. That one's gonna get an easy S tier. I saw a donation out of the corner of my eye. Starting a new hashtag. It's hashtag Team Apples. All right, bro. That ain't catching on, bro. That is not catching on. What does that even mean, hashtag Team Apples, bro? That is not catching on. Let's go to the next one.
If you touch a cactus,
The classic blue grid of Zack D films. This is definitely from a certain era of his content.
you'll probably get the spines stuck in your skin. And if you try to pull them out, you can actually break them off in your flesh because they're so fragile.
Wait, I think that this is just going to be the same as the very second short we watched today, which was about splinters. I think it's going to say that either your skin just pushes it out like a splinter, or your skin eats it alive.
So instead, you should apply a layer of glue over the area. Once it is dried, quickly peel it off in a smooth motion. This will pull out the spines evenly, causing them to stay intact.
Wait, I saw Sambucha test this one too. This was false. Let me use my sources here. Chat, we're gonna pull up sambucha.com. Let's get it. I'm pretty sure that he tested this and he concluded that that was not accurate. Sambucha, my glorious king, let me reference your content.
The Sambi
All right, where's the cactus one? It was literally the thumbnail. The short we just watched is the thumbnail of this video. Oh. All right, where does it happen? Wait, hold on. I gotta see this one tested as well. This is about to be satisfying. We watched this short yesterday. Yo, Sam, what are we doing, bro? We watched this short yesterday.
I guess I just push it and then hopefully the magic happens. Good, 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 good.
That is satisfying. Okay, where's the cactus one, though? Wait, this is the car one. We're seeing all of the shorts that we already saw. Yeah, so as you can see, he tested it on a fake hand.
Now covered in Elmer's
The glue did
so
not
this thing
work.
should dry in about 30 minutes or so, and hopefully it peels right off. All right, let's wait.
How to make a candle?
I have to wait for more? All right, well, just take my word for it. It did not work. Let's continue. Let's go to the next video. Lock in. That one gets a F tier for being false.
His teeth were
Ew!
infected and fell out. So by the time he became president,
Yo, he looks like he has man-baby disease.
he only had one tooth left. It was removed to fit his dentures, but they weren't made of wood like you might think. Instead, they were crafted from the teeth of animals and even other humans. But they barely fit and were painful to wear. This made it hard to speak, and he even avoided smiling, which is why he looks so grumpy in all of his portraits. His teeth
Oh, that was George Washington lore. Wait.
even other humans.
Yes, he got his wooden teeth from slaves. That is dark. I remember hearing that and I was like, this is vile. Either way, I'm going to give that one an F tier. Gross. Let's go to the next one.
A few days ago, I showed you how this trick was done, and I was wrong.
Oh. He was wrong? This is a question I had in the last one. Has he ever, like, gone back to a short he did before and remade it? I guess he did. I think there's a chair inside of this. And the stick is inside of the ground.
This is how I originally explained it. Cane, base, rods,
Yo, why did you censor this, Zach?
back brace, harness. All that's left for the magician to do is use his core strength to pull his legs up.
Well, this magician, known as Special Head, left a comment on my TikTok. He also made a response video proving that my theory is wrong. There appears to be no base or harness. In fact, Special Head has some other videos online where he just touches someone's head and levitates. So what's going on here? What's the real explanation to this trick? The answer is that I have no idea. A few days
Are we on God? Zack, you had me so invested and you're just gonna say, yeah, I don't know. Bro. When are we gonna ban these spammers? Alright, you know what? I'm gonna trust you to be the one. I'm giving you power, you random individual in the chat. I trust you. Don't abuse your powers. Don't abuse your powers. Yo, this one? No, there's got to be an answer in the comments. He's farting so hard it's propelling him upwards. I don't know if I buy that one. The answer is I have no idea. Oh my gosh, what is this? With 50 REAIS, would you watch 2 hour house looped to 1 hour? Bro, did I just say 1 hour? Oh my god, what is wrong with my attention? 1 hour, really, 1 hour. Bro, thank you for the donation, but I am not going to watch a video looped for 1 hour. What are we doing, bro? I appreciate the gesture of the donation, though. Thank you for the donation. But I'm not watching a video for an hour, brother. Listen, I have so much time left on this earth until I die. We all have limited time on this earth. We can't be wasting it watching videos for an hour. We have to watch Zack D films. Lock in. I have no idea. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. A brave man can admit when he's wrong. I guess there really is no answer. That is just such a sad answer. I want the answer, but I guess it doesn't exist. Let's go to the next one. That one's getting an F tier for not telling me.
If you chip a piece off of your tooth,
Bro, I did this recording a TikTok when I was a kid. I wanted to... Okay. You know what? I'll tell the story after the video.
a dentist might shave down the surrounding area. Then a bonding
I never went to the dentist for it, though. My tooth is still chipped.
material that matches your tooth color is applied and shaped to match the original appearance. Once the shape is near perfect, a special light hardens the material, making it as durable as the tooth. Finally, the dentist polishes the tooth to blend it seamlessly with the others. If you chip a
Interesting. All right, when I was a kid one time, I wanted to record a TikTok where I jumped over my phone. So like my phone's recording up on the ground. My hand is me, and I am jumping over it. So it looked like I was flying. So I jumped over my phone, and I put a beanbag for me to land on. But I missed the beanbag, and I just like jumped like this and just hit my head on the ground. And I bit down so hard, I literally chipped my tooth, bro, and broke it. I just face planted with the top of my head. Why using Q-tips feels so good? I've been curious about that for a long time.
Inserting Q-tips in your ear actually just pushes most of the earwax further in. This is so bad for you that even the Q-tip box says not to do it.
Then what's the point of a Q-tip?
But odds are you'll still use them even after watching this video. Why? Well, using Q-tips leads to what dermatologists refer to as the itch-scratch cycle. The more you use them, the more your ears itch. And the more your ears itch, the more you use them.
Oh, a dark cycle. A dark, vicious cycle of Q-tips. Wow, that's brutal. Pff. I'm gonna give that one a B tier. I don't like that information. I want to put Q-tips in my ears. They feel good. Let's go to the next video.
They soak $1 bills in bleach until the ink dissolves. And this is because real bills are made from special paper that's hard to recreate. Once all the ink is gone, a real banknote is left behind, and a printer then prints a fake $100 design. Now, if someone checks the note at a store, it will pass as a standard test. But if they look a little closer, they'll see it's missing the right UV marks, putting an end to the counterfeit operation.
When I was younger, I thought that I could get away with this very easily. Just like buy something with fake money. And I still low-key believe it. I don't do it because it's a crime. But I feel like if you just had like, let's say you have $100 in 20s, right? 4 real 20s and 1 fake one, they're not going to check every 20. Like, you could genuinely get a 20% discount on everything if you just mix in some fake money with it. I think that might be a good method. Not condoning for this, though. That is illegal. I'm just saying, I don't know how they would catch you. Like, when I buy things, people don't check the cash. They just accept it. Anyways, I'm going to give that one an S tier. Let's go to the next video.
Do you notice something?
Wait, my glasses are dirty. We need to acquire a microfiber cloth to clean these.
Weird about how Putin walks? He swings his left arm freely, but his right arm seems like it's stuck to his side. Some people have speculated that because this is a sign of early Parkinson's, Putin might be at risk. But the real reason he walks this way has nothing to do with his health. Putin was a KGB officer for 16 years, and in the KGB manual, it spells out the specific way officers should walk so they can always be prepared to handle their weapons. This style of walking perfectly describes the way Putin walks today. Other long-term KGB officers also seem to walk the same way.
Really? You're gonna put the TikTok thing at the end of it. That was kind of interesting. A little bit like, you know, nothing special about that one. I'm gonna give it a C tier.
If you stepped on a World War II landmine, 3 prongs hidden just beneath the surface would
They have this in COD. I know about this.
immediately sense the pressure. This pressure would release a striker pin, activating a fuse. Then, an initial explosion propels the mine upwards, reaching about waist height.
Yo, what is this right here? Nah, bro.
In the air, the fuse reaches the main charge inside, causing the mine to explode. The casing shatters, ejecting metal fragments at high speeds in all directions. If you
Fascinating. This is the second short we've gotten like this. The explanation of military equipment. Interesting. It seems that Zack is trying to appeal to his male audience. Let's go to the next one.
You know the equals
I'm going to give that one a C tier. I don't find it particularly interesting. Me personally, I like the hypothetical situation shorts the most.
sign in math? Well, back in the day, people actually wrote is equal to instead. And mathematician Robert Record was getting tired of writing it over.
Yo, what is this animation? I've never seen a 2D animated Zack D film. Interesting.
Over and over. So in 1557, he started using 2 horizontal lines instead. He figured since the 2 lines were the same size, they were equal to each other, which made it the perfect symbol for equality. You know the equal sign.
Oh. Equals sign lore is crazy. He's got to do that for every sign. Plus sign, minus sign, like... I never thought about why that symbol is the equal sign. I literally never thought about that. Wait, Zack, I want more of these shorts. There's got to be more in the down here. I'm gonna give that one an S tier. Why is my tally not going up? There we go. Let's go to the next one.
If an octopus loses some of its limbs and then somehow makes it back into the ocean, you might think it would die from the open wounds. But they have an ability that allows them to quickly seal the cut before it becomes infected.
Whoa.
Once the wounds begin to heal, new cells can start to reconstruct the missing limbs. And after
Starfish do this too. I learned that one from SpongeBob.
several weeks, new fully functional tentacles regrow. If an
Fascinating. I'm gonna give that one an A tier. Let's go to the next one.
If you swallowed a watermelon seed, some people think that
Would a watermelon grow in your stomach? Is that what this one's about?
it could potentially sprout in your stomach, meaning you'd literally be growing a watermelon inside of you. Now, this is obviously not true. Your stomach acid would dissolve the seed before it had time to grow. But there was a case of a man who swallowed a pea that ended up going down the wrong way. And months
Is that in his lung?
later, after being rushed to the hospital because of breathing problems, a doctor discovered that the pea had been ingested in the man's lung. And because lungs are warm and moist, the pea was able to split open and sprout into a plant.
That is so uncomfortable. That really happened? Oh my gosh. No, that one's got to be a D tier. Not F because it's kind of interesting, but it's gross. Let's go to the next one. Lock in.
Place the flies in the fridge until they stop moving. Then slice a matchstick in half and glue a paper-thin wing across the top. Add tiny drops of glue to the wing, one for each fly. Then stick the dormant flies on by their bellies, all pointing in the same direction. Breathe warm air across their bodies, and as they wake up, their wings buzz back to life, and the whole plane lifts off the ground.
Oh my god. This might be my favorite Zack D Films short. Let me watch that again, bro. You can create... I need to see someone test this. Is that inhumane to do to flies? I don't think flies are alive. They don't have, like, consciousness. They're just a nervous system. They're like little robots. Bro, I want to see flies going around on an airplane.
Place the flies in the
No, S+ tier.
fridge until they stop moving. Then slice a matchstick in half and glue a paper-thin wing across the top. Add tiny drops of glue to the wing, one for each fly. Then stick the dormant flies on by their bellies, all pointing in the same direction. Breathe warm air across their bodies, and as they wake up, their wings buzz back to life, and the whole plane...
Bro, this one is so good. I need to see more experiment videos like this. And I want to see someone test this. Yo, Sambucha, get on this one. Bro, Sambucha, get some flies and test this. Let's go to the next one.
The army ant is placed on the wound and positioned so its jaws clamp tightly on the edges, securing them together. Then the ant's body is twisted off, leaving its head and mandibles in place, which acts as a stitch. More are added depending on the size of the wound, and these ant stitches are left in the skin until the edges of the wound stay closed on their own.
What? Did they used to do this in the old day? Wow. Unemployed ants versus employed ants. That's a funny comment. I'm going to give that one an A tier. I liked that one. Let's go to the next one. Lock in.
When you pump gas in your car, there's this tiny hole connected to a valve that sucks in air. This air intake keeps the fuel flowing smoothly as it fills your car. But as soon as the tank is full, the gas covers this hole, stopping the airflow and creating a vacuum inside. And this change in pressure triggers the pump to stop the flow of gas. When you pump gas,
I did not know that gas pumps were so complicated. Interesting. I'm going to give that one a B tier. Not bad. Not bad. Let's go to the next one.
if you puncture a lung, air will move in and out of the wound as
Oh my god.
you breathe. When this happens, it can fill the space in your chest, putting pressure on your heart. To stop it, find an airtight material like plastic and use it to cover the wound. Next, tape it down on 3 sides. This stops air from getting sucked in but allows it to escape. And lay down on your wounded side to keep your chest under pressure as you wait for help.
That one is very uncomfortable. Wait, let me watch this guy get stabbed again.
If you puncture
That one is very uncomfortable. I do not like that. That's going to be a D tier from me. Could potentially save a life, though. Could potentially save a life. Either way, let's go to the next one.
If you took out one of your bones and
Hey, yo, where did that bone come from? Can I see that again? Let's get a replay on that.
If you took
Yeah, where's that bone coming out of, buddy? Listen, bro, I'm a little bit confused.
out one of your bones and somehow molded it into a chunk about this big, you might think it would be completely crushed under the weight of a car. But human bones are actually made of a tough mix of
Collagen.
minerals and a stretchy protein called collagen. And this
Bang.
makes them so strong
That's gonna be +1 IQ point for me.
that a single cubic inch can support the weight of nearly 5 standard cars.
Wow. We are really created of some very strong materials. I'm gonna give that one a B tier. Yeah, B tier. Let's go to the next one.
He slips one arm into the left wing, while the right wing is attached by a fishing line, and his other arm stretches straight up into the head. His fingers move the beak as it talks, and his pinky pulls on a hidden string that controls the eyes. To read lines, a script is taped to the inside of the suit and lit by a tiny LED, and a monitor strapped to his waist shows a live feed, letting him watch his performance in real time. He
Interesting. Wait, I never thought about that. This is like a question I never had, but I'm glad it's answered. Like, if you see a guy in this suit, how does he even know what he's doing? I mean, we know now, but still. How did I never question this? I don't even know, bro. That one is interesting. I'm going to give that short an A tier.
Imagine you woke up dangling on a trapeze high in the sky.
Whoa. Yo, I'm just imagining it right now. That would be scary.
You start freaking out. You're so high you can't even see the ground. Now, you have no idea how you got here, but a part of you thinks this might be a dream, just because of how odd the situation is. I mean, you can't even see where the chains end. This has to be a dream. This means you should just let go and you'll wake yourself up, but it does feel real. So maybe you shouldn't fall just in case. Hours turn into days, and you're
Ooh. I have a lot to say about this one. I'm going to let it finish, though.
getting exhausted. You're afraid you're going to fall asleep and let go on accident. But maybe that's a good thing? There really isn't any other option, and time is running out. What do you do? Imagine you woke
Is this just like a hypothetical situation? Okay, first of all, that would be so fun. I would be swinging back and forward. Second of all, what if it wasn't a dream? Evil Mr. Beast, hear me out. He takes people in their sleep, puts them into scenarios like this, and then tests. Do they think they're dreaming or do they think they're awake? That would not be a bad video idea for Mr. Beast. Second, what if we could induce a state of lucid awareness where people think they're dreaming, but they're not? They can't distinguish it, and we could put them into scenarios like this. That would be interesting. I gotta read the comments on this one. You just get exhausted and not hungry, it's a dream. Oh, wait, I read that wrong. If you just get exhausted and not hungry, it's a dream. That's not particularly true. I don't agree with that. I'm falling, bro. I'd rather die than stay alive in that situation. Fair enough. All right, let's go to the next one. I'm going to give this one an S tier. I wish that there was more of a conclusion, but still a fun one.
When you swallow food, it's supposed to go down your esophagus, which leads to your stomach. But there's this different route that leads to your lungs called the trachea, and the trachea sits right next to your esophagus. Now, when you swallow, the fleshy parts in your throat move over the trachea, so the food won't go.
Yo, if we have this little flap on our trachea, I feel like the uvula is not doing that much. Because he said in the uvula short that the point of it is so that food goes in the right pipe. I feel like that's not doing much here. I feel like this little lid on the trachea is like carrying this. I don't know, bro. I don't know. The uvula is kind of an L body part.
Down it. But sometimes, if you eat too fast, the fleshy parts of your throat don't do their job, and the food goes down your trachea, also known as the wrong pipe. When you
That is unfortunate. Let's go to the next one. I'm going to give that one a B tier.
The king gave each boy a seed and told them to grow the best
Lock in. This video is about China.
plant they could. You see, the king was old and was trying to find an heir to the throne. One boy named Ping loved gardening. He watered his seed, gave it sun, and used the best soil. Keeping close watch, he waited for a sprout, but nothing ever grew. When it was time to show the king, the other boys had huge, colorful plants. But Ping only had his pot with
I think that he gave the kids fake seeds. Hear me out. It's a test of who is the most honest child. They all faked their plants, putting flowers into the pots to deceive the king. And now he knows that this kid is the honest one. He will be the rightful heir.
no plant. He decided to bring it anyway. The king looked at every plant without saying a word until he reached Ping. Then he smiled and announced him as the winner. You see, the king had previously boiled all of the seeds so they couldn't grow, meaning he knew that every other boy had cheated and replaced their seed with a different one. But Ping was honest, and the king knew that honesty was more important than results.
Yes, W Ping. W Ping. That's got to be +2 IQ points for me from that one. That one was a S tier short easily. I love the stories. And that one was animated really well. Good job, Zach. Let's get to the next one. Ultimate spoiler, bro. That was not a spoiler. That was just me predicting. I'm disowning you, bro. You don't own me in the first place. Can we get a W Ping in the chat? Let's go to the next one. Lock in.
If you shoot at bulletproof glass, the outer layer absorbs the impact and shatters. But under this is a tough plastic sheet that acts as a web catching the shattered glass. The energy is then evenly distributed across the surface, which reduces the bullet's force. And if that isn't enough to stop it, there's another layer of glass backed by more plastic that ensures the bullet would not make it all the way through. If you shoot
But I want to see that tested against different bullets. Because different guns shoot different bullets. Like, this is just a pistol. This is a very weak bullet. If we got a sniper rifle, could it get through? I want to see bulletproof glass tested. I'm going to give that one an A tier, though. I like that.
If
Let's
you
go to the next
lose your
one.
leg, the skin will
All right. Listen. Yesterday, I noticed something about Zack D Films. He loves having people missing limbs. This is the first limbless short of the day, bro. We're going to have many more if I know Zack D Films.
close up over the stump and you'll be legless the rest of your life. This is true for almost all creatures.
Aw, so cute.
But there is an amphibian called an axolotl that does something different. You see, when this creature loses a limb, the wound quickly closes up to prevent infections. But shortly after, a
My dog has a farting disorder. Why is that the message I see when I look over? Why are you sharing that with me?
mass of cells known as a blastema form at the injury. As these cells grow, they morph into bone, nerve, and skin cells. And over time, these cells entirely rebuild the creature's limb from the inside out.
This is literally the same. Actually, I don't want to look at that. This is literally the same as the octopus that we learned of 3 shorts ago when he regrew his limbs. So does the starfish. I'm noticing a pattern with aquatic life. They like to regrow limbs. That's going to be +1 IQ for me, +1 video for the tally. That one's going to be an A tier. Let's go to the next one. Lock in.
He tried to light his
Bro, I'm getting good at saying that. I said that so fast and so flawlessly. Bro, I'm getting good at this whole talking thing.
shoe on fire mid-flight, but the attendants smelled the burning matches and saw what he was doing. Passengers and crew wrestled him to the ground, and eventually he was sedated. And when they checked his
Wait, what? Do they have sedation syringes inside of airplanes to stop people from exploding them? Interesting.
was sedated. And when they checked his shoes, they discovered a fuse sticking out of each one. It turned out they
Bomb
were stuffed
shoes.
with enough explosives to bring down the entire plane.
Wait a minute, but when you go through TSA, don't you have to take off your shoes, put it into the tray to go through the X-ray machine? How would they not Wait, when I went to Japan, they don't take off their shoes. Oh, this must not be in America then. They don't check the shoes in other countries.
And that's why you have to take off your shoes at the airport. He tried to
In America, there's caveats. I'm going to give that one an A tier. I liked that short. Let's go to the next one. Lock in.
When Pinocchio lies, his nose grows. So what would happen if he said, "My nose is about to grow"?
This animation is creepy, Zack.
If it did not grow, then that would mean he was lying, which would cause his nose to grow. But his nose growing would then indicate that he was not lying, which
You know what? This is a very classic paradox. I mean, let me just finish the video. I know everyone knows this one.
means his nose should have never grown. What do you think would happen?
Bro, I remember thinking about this when I was a kid, and I'm pretty sure I thought of this myself. I don't think somebody told me. I feel like everyone just knows this one. Like, it's such a classic example. I don't know. Maybe I didn't think of it myself. Maybe I did. I don't know. Personally, I think that Pinocchio would just die. I think it would make his brain haywire. Let's go to the next one. Lock in.
There is a secret
IRL Zack D Films. This is a rare pull.
about Skittles that the company doesn't want you to know about. You see, they claim that the candy comes in 5 different flavors, but the actual truth is that they all taste exactly the same. The only difference is their color and scent. And according to neuropsychologists, that's enough to trick your brain into thinking they have different flavors.
Call me crazy. I don't think Skittles have scents. They just have different colors. They're definitely different flavors, but like, what does he mean different scents? There's no scent on a Skittle. I don't have Skittles because I'm not a Big Mac in my house. I only have grilled chicken. But if I did, I would be smelling it right now to test it. I'm going to give that one an A tier. I like that short. Let's go to the next one. Lock in.
He dropped big rocks into an empty jar, which represented life's most important things:
Really?
family, health, and dreams. Next, he poured in a handful of pebbles. They slipped through the gaps, settling around the rocks.
Wait. This is going to be first ethics. No. This is going to be first life lesson short from Zack D Films today. Every once in a while, you get a life lesson short from him. What are we going to learn?
There was still room for them because the important things were already in place. These pebbles were the smaller but still important things, like your job and house. Then he took a scoop of sand and poured it in. The tiny grains filled every crack and crevice. The sand was all the small things, like hobbies, watching TV, and vacation. Now, if the sand had gone in first, there would have been no room for the pebbles. And if the pebbles were first, the rocks wouldn't fit. Meaning the most important things in your life, the rocks, have to go first. Finally, he poured in a cup of coffee. It seeped through the sand into every last microscopic bit of space, completely filling the jar. Because even when life feels full, there's always room for a cup of coffee.
Oh, wow. What a line at the end. That is a good life lesson, Zack D Films. Let it be known. Sometimes in life, the most important thing to do is to keep your priorities in line. Your family, your friends, everything. The big rocks, bro, that's your foundation. Always let it come first. If you put it second, your life is going to be filled with little bits of sand and pebbles. And you don't want that. That's going to be an S tier Zack D Films short. And the coffee line was tough. We're going to have that one an S plus tier potentially. That filled me with optimism in life. Let's go to the next one.
The bullet was shot at the house.
Yo, why are dudes shooting everything in Zack D Films? We just watched him shoot bulletproof glass, and now he's shooting a house.
And ended up going straight through. Inside, a woman and her fiance froze as the stray bullet headed straight for her. But in between them, her
The Stanley!
trusty tumbler filled with ice water was sitting squarely on the table. And instead of hitting her, the bullet struck the cup. It sparked.
So Zach, in the jar pebble rock analogy from the last short, where does the gun bullet shooting into your house go into that one? Would you call that one a pebble or a grain of sand? Because I'm a little bit confused where this would fit in.
Against the metal.
Or maybe maybe in that analogy that would just be like somebody throwing a stone at your jar and just like shattering the glass. I don't know. It's a rock, really. It's a rock. Okay, I can see that.
Before tumbling harmlessly to the ground, saving her life.
W. Stanley Cup. I'm going to give that one an A tier for being a good story. Let's go to the next one.
The parasite enters through the gills and clamps onto the fish's tongue with
Oh, it's so cute. I want to get a parasite now.
sharp, strong claws. It then severs the blood vessels in the tongue, stopping blood flow, which causes it to die and eventually fall off.
And I need to get one of these fish.
Once the tongue is gone, the parasite attaches itself to the remaining stub, becoming the fish's new tongue. As the fish eats, the parasite gets a share of the food, and this
Bro, does the fish get a say in this situation? Like, does the fish know that the parasite is in its mouth? Or is this just like a home intrusion?
creepy thing stays there, living off the fish and acting as its tongue until the host dies.
Yo, that's actually messed up, bro. You gotta charge him rent or something. I'm gonna give that one an S tier, though. I like that one. Fish is too dumb. Oh, you're right. Wait, Will the Gamer 14? I haven't seen your name in a long time, Will the Gamer 14. Am I still your channel banner? Let's go. I love to see Will the Gamer coming back. That's an OG viewer right there. Let's go to the next one. Lock in.
The cow knocked him into a pile of manure, snapping his hip. He couldn't move and had no way to call for help. For 5 days, he lay helpless in the dirt, baking in the sun and freezing at night.
Yo, oh, okay, this might be an incoming F tier. This is gross.
But he wasn't alone. His goat found him and stayed by his side. At night, she curled up beside him to keep him warm. Days passed, and without food and water,
He ate a bunch of poop. Don't tell me it's true.
the man grew weak. But the goat let him milk her into an old bottle, getting just enough to survive. Eventually, he was found and rushed to the hospital, but he swears he wouldn't have made it without her.
That goat is goated. Cue the laugh track. Cue the applause. Bro. I thought that was going to be more grosser than it is. That was actually a heartwarming story. Wow. Okay. The beginning was gross. We got to knock off points for that. But I love a goat being nice to a human. That goat is goated. I'm going to give that one an A tier. I think because of the stinky poop, it's not going to be an S tier. Let's go to the next one.
In 19...
Bro, all these videos still have millions of likes. I didn't know Zack had so many hits. All right, let's watch this one.
70, a doctor
Monkey!
removed the
No!
head of a monkey and transplanted it with another one, painstakingly
This one might be an incoming F tier short. This is gross.
connecting the tissues in the neck to the donor head. Now, the monkey survived, regained consciousness, and was able to see and hear. But the spinal cord couldn't be connected, so the monkey was unable to move its body.
This has to be illegal, bro. These people should not be allowed to do all this.
And while the procedure was technically successful, the monkey only lived for a few days.
That one's going to be an F tier. That was actually foul and putrid. Why would they do that to the monkey? He does not deserve that. This surgery raised major ethical concerns about the limits of science. This was again repeated in 2015. Wait, what year? Okay, first of all, why would they repeat that? Brother, what are we testing? Are we just playing God at this point? First of all, second of all, what year was the original one? What year was the original one? Are they going to say in the comments? All right, I guess they're just going to troll me. They're not going to tell me when it happened. Yeah, that one's an easy F tier. I do not like that short. Let's go to the next one.
Most people think soda tabs have this hole so you can turn it around and stick a straw through it.
I don't think that anyone has done that in the history of humanity. Personally, I don't think that happens.
This prevents the straw from bobbing around, keeping it in place. And while this is a pretty handy trick, it isn't the actual
Bro, nobody does that. Nobody does that.
reason for this hole. You see, the original soda tabs had a hole big enough to stick your finger through. And this was because in the original design, you literally had to peel.
I've done that at least 100 times. Okay. No. Listen. Okay, before we even finish this short, let's run a poll. A quick poll. Guys, yes, have you done this? Have you done this before? Yes or no? I swear I've never even heard about anyone doing this. Have you done... Hold on, let me get it side by side so you can have an example. Yeah, right there. Have you fellas done this before? Yes, you have? What? Bro. Okay, maybe I'm just slow. I did not know that this was... I didn't think to ever use it in that context. 61% yes. No, bro, I'm a minority. I did not realize that people did this. Why have I never seen someone do that before with a straw? All right, let's continue this one.
You literally had to peel and pull the can open. Now, when soda companies switched to this new design, they kept the hole as a relic from the older tabs, and also because it saves on aluminum.
Oh, that reminds me. Listen, you ever see a bottle of syrup before? Let me give you guys some lore. I learned this from Hank Green. This is the same reason why a bottle of syrup still has this little handle here. Because they used to have big handles like this, but they just kept it because it's like OG. People just associate syrup, maple syrup, with this handle. Sambucha is dead is crazy. Bro, somebody just told me that he died and he didn't. I had to search it. Bro, but that is the same reason why they still have this on syrup. It's just like a marketing thing because of the past. That's interesting. I'm going to give that one an A tier. Let's go to the next one.
If you never cut your fingernails, they'll get longer and longer and longer until they finally start curling around on themselves as they continue to grow.
Wow.
And this is because fingernails actually never stop growing. The longest fingernails in the world currently belong.
We watched the short from Zack D Films yesterday about this lady's life story. Apparently her daughter died. And because her daughter died, she kept growing her fingernails to mourn her daughter. I thought it was a little bit weird and a little bit strange, but we did watch that yesterday. Oh, wait, all this Zack D Films is making me into a fun fact god.
To Diana Armstrong, whose nails are over 42 feet long.
And they said she has to use 18 bottles of nail polish to get the whole thing, bro. 18 bottles.
Now, if you're like me, you probably find this kind of disgusting, and for good reason. Fingernails aren't meant to grow this long and can actually become a health hazard since they harbor bacteria. If you never cut your fingernail,
that is gross. Let's go to the next one. It's gonna be an F tier.
If you find yourself in a room with walls closing in, most people will immediately begin to panic. But this wastes time and energy. Instead,
this is gonna be like Star Wars.
look for any mechanism or button that might stop the walls. If you can't find one, use any available objects to wedge between where the walls are moving, providing more resistance to slow them down. If that fails, try climbing up and find a space above the moving walls where you can escape the crushing force.
Wait a minute. In what situation and scenario would this even happen to someone? Evil Mr. Beast, maybe? I do think it's fun, though. I do think a hypothetical situation is fun. That one's gonna be an A tier.
When you shave a hair, you expect it to grow back normally. But occasionally, as the hair grows, it will actually curl back into the skin. This leads to what's known as an ingrown hair. Now, most people think you're just supposed to pluck these out, but that will actually just irritate the area more. If possible, you should guide the tip of the hair in the right direction so it continues to grow correctly.
Whoa. I don't think I ever got an ingrown hair before, though. I think that's more like a girl thing. I don't think boys get ingrown hairs very much. That's just my own personal anecdotes, though. Any females, feel free to give your input. Any males, feel free to give your input. But me personally, I never really got an ingrown hair before. So I think that this information is relatively irrelevant to me. I'm going to give that one a B tier. Let's go to the next one.
They squeezed their shoulders into the flooded tunnel while holding their guns against their chest. Next, they used their feet to inch back.
Oh no, this is going to be a claustrophobic one again, bro. I don't know what it is, but Zack loves making videos that just feel claustrophobic. I'm a male and I've only gotten one hair. Well, buddy, I think you've got other issues. Are you like a toddler, bro? Is this a 10-month-old in the chat? Like you have one hair? All right.
Until their whole body was inside. Even though it's filled with water, there's just enough space to breathe. And once they're in, there's only one way out. They have to keep moving through the tiny space without drowning. Now, this 9-foot tunnel is part of the commandos training, and a warning to recruits is written above. If you enter, you die. They squeezed.
Why did he go in there then? B tier. Let's go to the next one.
If you lost your finger, most people assume you'd be fingerless the rest of your life. But if you manage to get to a hospital quick enough with your cleanly severed finger that isn't too damaged, a surgeon can meticulously connect the tiny blood vessels and the tiny nerves.
That's so cool that we can do that. That would seem so impossible. I cannot believe medicine sometimes.
Which reestablishes blood flow and sensation. And if this is done with expert precision, your finger can be reattached, restoring its normal function.
Bro, that's got to be rare though, no? I'm gonna give that one an A tier. Medicine is magic.
When you pull the trigger of a
another gun video.
gun, it releases a pin which strikes the primer at the base of the cartridge. Inside this cartridge is a chemically explosive substance known as smokeless powder. The impact from the firing pin ignites this powder inside the cartridge, creating a high-pressure gas that rapidly expands. This energy pushes forward and forces the bullet out of the cartridge, driving it down the barrel of the gun. When you
Interesting how a gun works. Whenever I watch a video like this, and this also goes for rocket ships launching, you got all of this casing, right? And it launches and you just lose all of it, and the gun is just this little tip. Feels like a waste, bro. Like you've lost like 25% of your bullet. What are we doing, brother? Give that one an A tier. Let's go to the next one.
If you poured a bunch of Earths inside the sun,
this one's gonna be good, I can already tell.
They say it can hold 1.3 million of them, but this calculation is actually wrong. You see, this figure is just...
Wait, what does he mean they say, bro? Who is... I don't think. All right, whatever, Zach.
taking the volume of each Earth to fill the sun, almost like a liquid. But that doesn't take into account that the Earth is a sphere and that there would be space between each one. Now, if you factor in this packing density, instead of 1.3 million, it would actually only take about 960,000.
That's still so many, bro. The sun is so big. I am always amazed by the size of the sun. I'm going to give that one an S tier. That was a fun short. Let's go to the next one.
He would bite down on a metal rod attached to his piano while he played. The vibrations from the piano traveled through the rod into his jawbone and reached
Video number 400. I didn't realize that till now. This one better be a hit.
his inner ear. This technique would send sound vibrations directly to the skull, completely skipping the eardrum, allowing him to hear. And by using this
Wait. Beethoven could hear? I guess his cochlea, that's what this is in the ear. That's called the cochlea. I guess that thing was still intact. It's just like this stuff wasn't working. But if he, oh, whoa.
method, Beethoven was able to compose music even when he was deaf.
Okay, so bro was just cheating. Like, they give him so much historical aura for being deaf, but he could still hear the music. It's like, it's like a fun fact, but like, bro, he wasn't deaf. I'm gonna give that one an S tier. That's a good short. We got a good one for number 400. That was a good one for number 400. All right, let's go. 100 more. 500 is going to be a banger. 401, lock in.
She was reaching into a donation bin when someone pushed her from behind. The heavy door slammed.
If you try it, it sounds very muffled and low-pitched. Oh, interesting. Tough Hoven, really, bro. Tough Hoven.
Shut as she fell inside. Now, these bins are built with one-way flaps that swing inward. Once you fall through, the door locks behind you. There's no handle or latch, just smooth metal and steep walls too high to climb. She screamed for help, but no one heard her. And for 3
What? She went bad.
She screamed for help, but no one
Oh, she said help. I didn't realize. Here you go. Thank you for your €2, bro. Mr. Cheesed. I appreciate the donation. €2.
heard her. And for 3 days, she laid curled up on old clothes with no food or water. Finally, someone heard her cry.
For 2 days? Bro. I guess people don't be using mail anymore. They got emails nowadays. So nobody put mail in for 2 days in that box.
And firefighters cut her out. But this wasn't her first time. She'd already been rescued from a donation bin
No, at that point, she likes getting stuck. What?
2 times before. She was
Bro, what a freak. Holy freak. I'm going to give that one an A tier. That's fascinating. Let's go to the next one.
When you slice a watermelon in half and in half again, then cut it into wedges, the sticky juices cover your face as you eat. And since it doesn't
Was that adjective really necessary?
fit your mouth, you actually lose some of the fruit. Instead, cut the watermelon in half on the short side and flip it over. Next, slice even strips in one direction, then again in the other direction, making a grid. When you pull out a piece, most of them will be the perfect size to fit in your mouth.
Guys, advice for the fellas out there with pregnant wives. I heard pregnant wives love watermelon. They always crave watermelon, I heard. If your wife ever gets pregnant, use this method. She will love you forever. Bro is mewing. No, I just look like that. That's going to be an S tier. Let's go to the next one.
He stuck a Lego piece up his nose, and it got stuck. So he shoved a different piece in the same nostril because they connected together.
Oh my god, that's genius.
He thought it was a smart way to remove it, but instead, both pieces ended up getting stuck.
Oh.
His mother pulled out the bigger piece, unaware that the smaller one remained deeply lodged inside. For 26 years, he struggled with congestion, asthma, and sleep apnea without realizing why. Then, one day, while blowing his nose in the shower, the Lego piece suddenly popped out after 26 years.
Okay, but imagine how good that would feel. To finally pop out the Lego piece after 26 years? Yo, that would be a satisfying... I'm going to give that one an A tier. A little bit uncomfortable, though, not going to lie. Let's go to the next one.
If you were swallowed...
All because of a Lego piece. Yeah, that's crazy. Imagine having all of those problems with your life because of a little Lego stud. That's crazy. You know what? There could be someone in this stream right now with a Lego piece inside of their nose and they don't even know it.
By a sperm whale, you would be squeezed down its massive throat. You'd continue down the esophagus and into a series of stomach chambers that are filled with
This might be an F tier short.
digestive acids. And these acids would immediately start breaking down your body. But even if you managed to avoid the acid, the lack of air inside the whale would quickly cause you to suffocate. If you
All right, so Zack, can we not make? I mean, okay, first of all, the claustrophobic ones are bad enough, but you've combined it with some gross, like being eaten, like, bro, that one's F tier. No, easy F tier.
if your eyeballs
All right, we might be going back for back with F tiers.
fully popped out of your head, you would completely lose your vision. So what would you actually see? Well, most people think that you would see darkness, like pitch black. But that's not actually true. You wouldn't see darkness
You would see nothing. Hold on, this is the same hand from the wood short. Yo, this is my expert pattern recognition. I don't know how I'm able to do this, but I see this hand and I'm like, oh, that is the exact same hand from the short where he was cutting the wood in this one.
If you
Bro, I don't know how I just made that association. Maybe my IQ is just too high.
because you wouldn't see anything at all. It would be like trying to see out of your elbow. There's no visual input, which means you quite literally see nothing. Not darkness, not pitch black, nothing. If your eyeballs fully
Yeah, I'm gonna give that one a D tier.
If you feel a blockage in your ear, you might have a huge chunk of earwax stuck in the canal.
It could be a Lego though.
This waxy substance is naturally produced by your body to protect and lubricate your ears. But sometimes it can build up and harden, preventing you from hearing properly. And if you use a cotton swab to try to remove it, you'll probably end up pushing it further in. Instead, experts recommend using an over-the-counter drop that softens the wax, allowing it to exit the canal naturally. If you feel
Me personally, when I get earwax, I need to know what is the keybind to open stuff in a new tab. I just click my scroll wheel button and it opens it in a new tab. If you just click scroll wheel, it'll open it in a new tab. It's so nice. You got to get on that method. Yeah, me personally, when I have earwax, I don't clean it out. It just like comes out naturally, which I think is the method. Yes, bro. Test it with your scroll wheel. If you click in on your scroll wheel, it should open it on a new tab. I think that's just how every computer mouse is. Let's go to the next one.
If your ear gets ripped off,
That short was a B tier.
you can actually take some cartilage from your rib cage. Then a doctor will carve it into the shape of an ear and
What?
place it into a pocket of skin on your forearm. Inside your arm, it develops and forms new blood vessels and skin. Once it is fully developed, the new ear is removed from your arm. The new blood vessels are attached to your ear hole, and the skin is carefully stitched to your head, giving you a new ear.
Wow. That's gross, but that's also insane that we can do that. I'm going to give that one an A tier. I think it's nasty, but like that is just crazy science. Let's go to the next one.
If you smash a glass, turn off all the lights, and lay a flashlight on the floor, the light will catch on the glass shards, and even the tiniest pieces will reflect the light back, making them sparkle. Then take half a raw potato and run it across the glass pieces. The sharp edges will stick into the flesh, and the potato will lift them off the floor, making sure it's safe to walk on.
I feel like he only chose a potato in this situation because like when you're watching it and then he's like
making them sparkle. Then take half a raw potato.
Right, like you see the potato and then it's just like, what? Why a potato? It could have been anything. He just did it because it makes you more curious while watching. Bro, Row Rants. Really? Row Rants is in the chat. That's deep Ninja lore at this point. You should watch every Row Rants video next, bro. How many videos do you have? How many videos do you have? 300? Wait, that wouldn't actually be that bad. That wouldn't be that bad. Maybe one day. Maybe one day I'll revisit the Roblox rant community. I remember that arc like it was yesterday. Wow. All right, let's go to the next one. This one gets A tier.
When an ant bites you, it grabs your skin with its pinchers, but it's not actually the pinchers that hurt.
Oh my god, guys. 2,000 viewers. Let me just say thank you guys for watching this stream. That's a lot of viewers for me. So I know there's a lot of guys who are the first time fellas in the chat, first time viewers of a live stream. I just want to say I appreciate you for watching. Let us continue. 2013, that's the year I was born.
Hurt you. You see, the ant uses them to hold on to your skin, but then they bend their bodies upwards and stab you with their stinger. Now, because they're holding on to you with such a good grip, it allows the ant to sting you multiple times in the same area. This injects you with their venom, which causes that sharp stinging pain. When an ant bites you,
Mid, C tier. Let's go to the next one.
did you know the tongue is
Ew!
actually not the strongest muscle in the body?
Wait, I think that... Let me think about this. I thought that the tongue was... No, the tongue is the...
The
You
human
know what? Let me just watch the video.
tongue is technically not even a muscle. It's a group of 8 muscles that control different functions. So what is the strongest muscle in the human
Gluteus maximus. I know that's the largest muscle.
body? Well, the muscle that exerts the most force based on its weight is this muscle on your face called the masseter. It's
Masseter.
responsible for giving humans biting strength as great as 200 pounds. Did you know the tongue is actually...
Oh, that was the answer. Interesting. I thought it was going to be the gluteus maximus. All right, let's go to the next one. A tier.
Have you ever wondered what's on the inside of a Kit Kat bar? Well, they claim it's just a crisp wafer, but what they actually use to make it might surprise you. You
Humans.
see, some Kit Kats get broken while they're being made, and instead of throwing them out, the company crushes them up and adds sugar, and that's what's on the inside of a Kit Kat bar. It's literally crushed up Kit Kats. Have you ever wondered what...
Whoa. That was so resourceful.
It's literally crushed up Kit Kats.
That's genius. A tier. Let's go to the next one.
If you step on a pressure release mine, theoretically, it would trigger a
But where did the original Kit Kat come from? Wait a minute. No, you're onto something. Where did the original one come from? I'm not ready to think that hard.
spring mechanism inside that pulls back a firing pin. Now, if you stay completely still and don't step off, supposedly the firing pin won't move. But if you remove any weight, the firing pin hits a detonator, causing an explosion. Now,
Unfortunate.
This idea was popularized by wartime propaganda and movies at the time. In reality, these mines don't actually operate like this. Most of them detonate as soon as any pressure is applied.
Oh. Even if it's like a little bug, I'm gonna give that one a B tier. I'm not a big fan of the war explanation ones. I don't know, it's just not my fancy. I ain't a warhead. Let's go to the next one.
You might think shooting zombies is the best.
Alright, so now we've shot a house, a Stanley Cup, stainless steel glass, a car, and now a zombie. Zach, you are shooting a lot of things in your shorts.
Defense in the apocalypse, but you'll run out of ammo fast, and the sound only attracts attention. Now, a crowbar could easily crack a zombie skull, and
Yo,
it
this
doubles
one
as
is
a
violent.
tool, but it's heavy and requires a lot of force to swing, meaning
Is that Hussein? That kind of looks like him.
cool, but it's heavy and requires a lot of force to swing, meaning you'll get tired fast. A baseball bat is lighter and still has great reach, but it can splinter, and blunt force might not completely finish off a zombie. Your best weapon would actually be a good pair of running shoes to outrun the zombies, or at least the other humans.
Oh. That's smart. Alright, let's go to the next one.
He hit
Wait, I'm gonna give that one... No, let's be honest. B tier. A little bit violent, a little bit freaky. Alright, we went from shooting guns to throwing balls.
the ball so hard the bat cracked. But as the splinters flew, the umpires noticed something odd. When they looked closer, they found a cork inside. You see,
Is that Drake? Wait, hold on.
you
That's the Iceman. That looks like Drake. No, bro, that's Drake.
He hit the ball. The umpires noticed something odd. When they looked closer, they found a cork inside. You see, some players would drill a hole in their bat, removing the heavy wood and replacing it with a much lighter piece of cork. And this made the bat swing faster. He was immediately thrown out for cheating, but insisted it was a practice bat that got mixed up by accident. Now, this player was known for hitting over 500 home runs. So fans were left wondering if his entire career was all just a sham.
Probably, I'm not gonna lie. I'm on the sham side for this one. I'm gonna say that one's an A tier. I like the story of that one. That was pretty good. Let's go to the next one.
He took the master key and pressed it into melted candle wax, making a perfect impression. The mold was smuggled out of the prison, and his allies used it to make a metal copy. They hid it inside a cake and sent it back to him. But when he tried the key, it didn't fit. So he sent another wax impression and waited for the cake. And this time, the key worked. He passed through every locked gate, simply walking out of the prison. And years later, he became president of Ireland.
What? What a twist at the end. That one's an S tier if that's true. Can I get a fact check on this? Is that actually a real story? There's no... How does that even happen? Oh my god. His name was Iman de Valeria. He wasn't a criminal. He was fighting for Ireland's freedom from British rule. Back then, Ireland was controlled by Britain. Oh, that's so interesting. Let's go to the next one. That's an S tier.
If you cut a pilonidal cyst in half, you'd probably find a clump of hair inside. Now, these hairs typically fall from your head and down the back of your shirt. And as you ruffle around throughout the day, they move down to this area and eventually embed into your skin. Your body perceives them as a foreign object, and the area becomes inflamed. Now, this can eventually cause a cyst to form that entraps more and more hairs as they fall. If you
F tier. F tier. I don't... It speaks for itself. Lettuce leaf.
When a sperm whale eats a squid,
Interesting.
The sharp beak irritates the whale's intestines. To protect itself, the whale coats the beak in a fatty substance. Eventually, it gets pooped out into the ocean where it floats for years. And over time, it hardens, developing a sweet, earthy smell. If you find it washed up on the beach, don't be grossed out. This fatty substance is used to make luxury perfumes and sells for thousands of dollars per pound.
Whoa. Whale vomit is worth millions. That's just like the wood from before. They age the wood for perfume. Wow. The perfume industry is very something interesting. I'm going to give that one a B tier. Let's go to the next one.
Crack the cold eggs in a pan and add a chunk of butter. Stir them together over medium heat. This cooks them slowly while the butter oils the pan. As you mix, scrape the bottom to prevent it from burning. And every 30 seconds, take them off the heat for 10 seconds while stirring. This cooks the eggs gradually and folds air into the mix, making them fluffy and soft. After 3 minutes, take them off and add cream to stop them from cooking. Then season with salt and pepper to finish off your perfect eggs.
Interesting. For me personally, that's a little too sweaty for eggs. I wouldn't try that hard to make eggs. He lost me at cook. He lost me at the word cook. I prefer DoorDash. Let's go to the next one. That's going to be a B tier.
He was punched in the head so hard he saw a flash of white, and he soon realized his vision had changed. Curved objects started to look pixelated, and tap water seemed to flow in jagged lines. Everywhere he looked, he saw complex mathematical patterns, even though he hated math before. And without any training, he began drawing detailed geometric shapes.
Whoa.
The attack had turned him into a math genius, and he went on to teach all over the world.
That is like the one I watched yesterday. This guy got hit by a football player, fell on the ground, hit his head, and he lived an alternative life with a wife and everything for years. And then he saw a lamp. The lamp looked slightly off. And then he woke back up on the cement when the guy hit him on the head. Bro, I don't know what is up with the human brain, but when you sustain damage to it, very strange things happen. I like that story. That might be an S tier. Definitely an A+. Let's go to the next one.
If you get a blister, most people assume you're supposed to pop them.
Nasty.
But should you actually do this? Well, blisters usually form on a spot of your skin that has become damaged. And inside the bubble, there is a small pocket of clear fluid that builds up. This fluid actually protects and heals the skin underneath, acting as a barrier to keep it clean. But when you pop a blister, it exposes the skin prematurely before it has time to properly heal, which is why you shouldn't pop them. If you get a
Oh, yeah, it's going to be an F tier, Zach. Get that off my computer. Oh, and we're shooting guns at things again. Interesting. Okay, so we shot a zombie, a window, a Stanley Cup, bulletproof glass, a car, a window, and now we're shooting gold. Bro, very fascinating.
If you shoot at a bar of solid gold, most people think the bullet would immediately be
No, gold is soft.
deflected, but gold is actually much softer than many other metals. When the bullet hits, it would penetrate the surface, creating a small crater. The bullet's energy would get absorbed and dispersed by the dense material, and instead of deflecting, the bullet might slow down significantly and even get lodged within the bar.
That is very neat. I'm going to give that one an A tier.
When a gun
Oh, we're shooting more guns. Okay.
shoots a
Now we're shooting bulletproof vests. Bro, why are these so back to back? What is going on? Also, this guy, holy chopped. Wow. I never seen a Zack D Films character that looks like that before.
Bulletproof vest. The bullet will hit and possibly tear through the first layer. These vests are made with multiple layers of super tough fibers that catch and slow down the bullet. Upon impact, the vest's fibers disperse the bullet's force, lessening it. And while the impact can still cause broken ribs and bruising, the vest keeps the bullet from entering your body. When a gun...
Good to know. Good to know. I'm going to give that one a C tier. Listen, Zack, I've seen a little bit too many guns being shot. This next video better not be a gun.
When he saws through the assistant...
Oh, okay. No, this is much better. We're sawing through people.
You would expect blood and guts to spill onto the floor.
Okay, now I get what people were saying yesterday. They said that I was going to be traumatized by Zack D Films. It seems like he's cleaned up his newer videos. Some of the older ones, though, are a little bit out of pocket, bro. Like, this is kind of a little bit nasty. I understand how this is traumatizing. I didn't get what people meant yesterday. I get what they mean now. It's 2 a.m. in France. I just accidentally pissed my pants. Let's go.
When the box is placed over her, the magician blocks her feet from the view of the audience. And within a few seconds, the assistant pulls her legs up and squishes her whole body into the first half. At the same time, her feet are replaced with remote-controlled ones in the second half. And when the saw blade comes down, it looks like she's being sliced in half, with the legs wiggling. But the blade never actually touches her.
That was a gross short. I'm giving it a D tier. The animation doesn't look very good. Let's go to the next one. Hello, Ninja. Oh, we got an OG viewer in the chat, fellas. Yellow Ninja has arrived. Let us continue.
The stray bullet struck her right in the stomach. It pierced the skin, but started to slow down as it entered her body fat. Layer by layer, the fat absorbed more of the bullet's energy, like a cushion. And by the time it hit deeper tissue, the bullet had lost most of its force.
Wait a minute. So now we're shooting fat people. Who is Zack D Films not shooting at this point, honestly?
Coming to a stop before hitting any organs and saving her life.
That is disgusting. F tier.
If you've...
Queso, but... Okay. Yo. What is going on? Yo, there's so many gun videos.
Fire a bullet that ricochets off of 3 platforms. Some people think it could come back and kill the shooter. But is this actually possible? Well, first, the bullet would need to hit...
I don't think so. It can't hit the wall at the correct angles. You'd have to have the right angles set up in the room. Not in a box room, at least.
It at just the right angle to be redirected back. And each of these hits would cause it to lose large amounts of energy and speed. It could technically come back and hit you, but it would no longer be at a lethal speed.
Really? Yo, you could get hit by a bullet and it wouldn't even hurt. I gotta try that. Okay, that was interesting. I'm gonna give that one a C tier. Let's go to the next one. Lock in.
He burned his initials onto the liver.
Okay, this is becoming traumatizing. Why is this happening?
With a high-powered laser. Then he sewed up the patient and acted like nothing had happened. But a week later, the new liver started to fail. The patient went back in, but this time she was treated by a different doctor. And he soon found the initials inside. The surgeon admitted it wasn't the first time he'd branded a patient, and he eventually lost his medical license.
Why, bro? You went through 12 years of medical school just to do this and lose it. Nah, this guy's gotta be the dumbest human being on earth. What in God's name? Why are we doing this? No, some people are just weird. Let's go to the next one. That's gonna be a C tier.
Walt Disney took a bite of the hot dog, counted his steps, then tossed the wrapper on the ground, according to the legend. And he watched other guests do the same. When he counted, he found it was about 30 steps before someone would drop their trash. And when he opened Disneyland and installed trash cans, he personally measured out 30 steps between each one. So now, when you walk through a Disney theme park, you'll find a trash can exactly when you need it.
That's so genius. A tier.
If you're afraid
Disney. Walt Disney. Try saying that one. It's not as easy as you think.
of the dark, could you hop in a plane and chase the sunset, avoiding nighttime forever? Well, you would need a
That is an interesting situation.
plane that could fly west faster than the Earth spins, and it would have to stay at supersonic speed for days without stopping, meaning you would need another plane to refuel yours mid-air. Oh, and the aircraft
Does that really exist? Can you fuel up? No, that can't be real, right? That can't be real.
mid-air. Oh, and the aircraft would need to mostly run on autopilot so you could sleep and take breaks. But if you don't have a plane, you could just get a flight to the North Pole. You see, for 6 months, the sun doesn't set in Earth's poles. It just circles the horizon non-stop. And when it finally starts to get dark halfway through the year, just hop on a flight to the South Pole, where the sun is just rising for another 6 months.
That would suck to live in the North and South Pole. Bro, how would you even sleep? Your circadian rhythms would be messed up. Either way though, this short is a fun hypothetical situation. I like this one. I'm gonna give this one an A tier. Let's go to the next.
He built the Lego bricks
See what I mean? He keeps doing limbless videos. He keeps making videos about people missing limbs. I don't know why, bro. Maybe it just makes it a very engaging visual hook. Like, you go to it immediately, kid doesn't have an arm, you stop scrolling, that might be the method.
around his arm stump when he was just 9 years old, hoping to create a prosthetic arm. You see, in the womb, his right arm never fully developed. But as he grew up, he started playing with Legos until he made his first Lego arm.
That's so cool. What?
Now, that first version didn't work, but he tried again years later, making an arm with a movable elbow and a grabber to pick things up. Since then, he's made
Okay, Zack. You animated the kid, like, the kid looks like a human. Why did you have to do him like this once he grew up, bro? You did not have to use the chopped character model for the armless kid when he grows up. Zack, very strange decision.
elbow and a grabber to pick things up.
Like, are we serious, bro? Come on.
Since then, he's made 4 more versions, each one better than the last. And because he shared the plans for free, anyone can now build a Lego arm.
That is cool. That is actually wholesome. Despite the weird character design, I would give that one an S tier. That's a wholesome story. I like that. Let's go to the next one.
If you dropped an ant off the Empire State Building, you might think it would splat on impact. But as it fell, the air resistance would create a cushion of drag, slowing it down. And
That's so cool.
since it only weighs a fraction of an ounce, the force pulling it toward the Earth is tiny. Even when it reached its highest possible speed, it would still only fall at a few miles per hour, and its tough shell means it would hit the ground before walking away unharmed.
We gotta figure out how to make tiny humans. I would love to jump off of a building and just like bang, body the fall. That's gonna be an S tier. Let's go.
Open your eyelids and lean over the eye wash station, letting the clean water hit both eyes at once. As it does, look up, down, left, and right. This will flush out the dangerous chemicals before they cause serious damage. Now, some chemicals are strong enough to blind you, even if you wash most of them out. To be sure, keep rinsing for at least 15 minutes. By that time, your eyes should be clear, saving you from going blind.
That is nasty. I'm gonna give that one a D tier. I would say F. Okay, bro, don't say baddie in the chat. Don't say baddie in the chat. That is not why I'm not giving it an F tier. Bro, you're twisting my words. I would give it an F tier usually, but I could see this being a helpful tutorial to help someone. Okay, bro, now you guys are just spamming baddie. Like, listen, we are not cracking the Zack D Films characters now. We are not cracking Zack D Films characters. Oh, you guys are degenerates. We gotta just move on from this one, bro. We just gotta move on
Snakes
from that.
will sometimes eat their own tails, mistaking
Wow.
it for prey. This happens when they're under extreme stress, causing them to become confused. In this state,
Bro, what you guys? Oh my god, bro. You people are just gonna be saying that every time you see a girl in Zack D Films. Like, are we for real, bro? Are we for real?
their natural urge to hunt and eat is so strong that they don't realize that they are eating their own tail. And if they swallow enough of it, it can get stuck in their intestines and cause a blockage. This blockage can cause permanent damage and can often be fatal. Snakes will
Why would a snake do that? Is he trying to make a statement? Okay, the snake is not a baddie. You guys are saying snake baddie, bro. No, you guys are beyond say. He's eating his own dick. All right, bro. Some people are truly beyond saving, aren't they? Let's go to the next one. I'm going to give that one an A tier. Fascinating.
Now, the bullet struck him in a lethal...
Isn't that the President Joseph R. Kennedy? Joseph Teddy Roosevelt Kennedy. I think that's the old president.
Spot, but he somehow remained standing.
Ninja gonna crack the snake, really, bro. Oh.
So how was this possible? Well, Roosevelt had a thick, folded-up speech in his coat pocket, along with a metal glasses case. And the bullet hit these items, which slowed it down and protected his lungs. Now, despite the injury, he insisted on finishing his 90-minute speech. Now, the bullet struck him in a...
He got shot and still continued his speech? Nah, bro. At a certain point, you gotta question these things. Like, is that staged? I don't know. Probably not, because it actually hit him. That is aura, though. That is an aura president. Let's go to the next one. I'm gonna give that one an 8. S tier. S tier if it's true. A tier if it's staged.
If you shot a
Really, another gun video. All right, what are we shooting this time?
gun at another gun, and the
Oh, we're shooting a gun at another gun. Oh.
bullets happen to collide, they would most likely shatter due to the high-speed impact. But sometimes, if the bullets are made of the same material and the conditions were just right, the intense heat and pressure of the collision could cause the bullets to fuse together into one lump of metal.
Yo, we need someone to test that and record it on a super slow-mo camera. That would be really crack the gun. You want a gun baddie. Ninja is cracking the gun. Oh. Listen, can we lock in for a second here? I'm trying to say, we need some dudes to test this. No, you a freak, bro. These aren't my words. I'm reading the chat. Okay. You know what? I don't think anyone cares about what I have to say. Let's just move on. That one's gonna be an S tier.
If you fall into a gorilla exhibit, you might try to scream and run, but this could upset the gorillas, making them attack. Instead, stay calm and avoid sudden movements.
Why does this guy look like a child body with a human head? Wait, is that not Germa 118? Bro, that is literally the streamer Germa 118. Oh, 985. Bro, is that not literally the same guy? Interesting.
Slowly crouch down to look small
No,
and
it's
non-threatening.
you, bro. I don't look like
Down
this. I don't look like this.
Heads and movement.
I don't look like that. Crack Harambe. All right, gorilla baddie. Come on.
Slowly crouch down to look small and non-threatening, and don't make eye contact. Calmly back away towards a safe structure like the enclosure walls. If a gorilla approaches, stay still and they might just lose interest. And remember, zoo staff are trained for these emergencies, so wait for their help to escape safely.
Yo, why did that outro happen? Yo, this one's gonna get a B tier. Yeah, I'm gonna say a B tier on this one. Let's go to the next video.
When a snake is eating something really
Another snake video.
big, it has the ability to completely open its entire
All right, chat, I know what you guys are gonna say at this point. Listen, you literally don't even have to type it. I already know that the messages are coming. Keep the messages to yourself. Keep the messages to yourself.
jaw. They can do this because their jaw bones aren't rigidly fixed to their skull. Instead, they're connected with flexible ligaments that can stretch and move. Once the head of the prey is inside their mouth, strong muscles inside the snake contract in a wave-like motion.
No way a snake can literally eat a cow. That seems impossible.
Contract in a wave-like motion. This pushes the animal down the esophagus and into the stomach. When a snake is
That can't be possible. Let me fact check this. Can a snake eat a cow? What? Yes, certain giant snakes can eat a cow. Bro, that must be disturbing to see. That's going to be an S tier short. A tier.
He rode his motorcycle without a helmet, and the police gave him a fine. But he was an electrician with access to the power grid, so he checked the records and found the police station hadn't paid its bill in 3 years. Now, this bill was incredibly expensive, so he shut off their electricity. For 5 hours, the police station went dark, all because they gave a fine to the wrong guy. He rode his motorcycle.
That was kind of a mid story. Why is this one got 2 million likes? Laptop baddie, crack the motorcycle. Okay, bro, that one's gonna be a B tier.
A single bullet was fired from a rifle on a 6th floor window. First, it entered
JFK. Another president short. Wait, this might be a new emerging pattern with them. President assassination videos.
JFK's upper back and traveled downward, exiting through his throat.
What? It literally went right through his spine? Yo, you have to be a goated sniper to hit that shot. Right through his spine?
Then it struck the governor in the back, shattering a rib as it tore through his chest.
I didn't know
the
it got
bullet
two
continued,
guys.
exiting the governor's chest and hitting his right wrist, breaking a bone. Finally, it lodged itself into the governor's thigh, where
Holy collat.
it stayed until removed by doctors in almost perfect condition. Now, investigators claimed that this is what happened. A single bullet caused 6 wounds while staying intact. But many argue that the bullet's trajectory is impossible. The angles just don't add up, leaving us wondering if there was actually more than one bullet.
How would we not know? Like, is this not like the most historically accurate like thing that we would do? Also, Yellow Ninja, you do not need to ban nobody. It's all trolling, bro. It's good. I'm gonna give this one a B tier. I find it preposterous that we wouldn't know. Like, bro, they literally shot one of the presidents. How would we not know? Just look if there's multiple bullets, right? All right, let's go to the next one.
If you shove a bobby pin inside a lock, the pin could snap inside, preventing the lock from being opened. Instead, start by straightening the pin into a flat metal piece and removing the rubber tips. Then bend one end slightly and curve the other into a handle. Now create a lever by bending another pin at the right angle. This will act as your key. Insert the lever at the bottom of the lock and apply gentle turning pressure. With your pick, lift each pin until
This is literally what happens in Skyrim.
till it clicks, and as they align, the lock will start to turn. If you
Whoa. Not a bad tutorial. I want to test that. Ninja crack the lock. I might just do it. I'm going to give that one A tier.
When a sound enters your ear and hits the eardrum, it causes it to vibrate. These vibrations travel through this little hammer-like bone, which makes the sound louder. Then they reach a snail-shaped, fluid-filled organ with thousands of microscopic hairs. The vibrations cause the fluid in this organ to move around, and as it moves, the tiny hairs convert the motion into electrical signals. These signals are sent to the brain through a nerve, where finally they're interpreted into sounds.
Bro, how is that even possible? Like, how do we just, like, get this in our body? That is, like, so crazy. Whoa. B tier.
If you get a really bad burn, a doctor will scrape off all of the dead, damaged skin. Then they will cut off a piece of healthy skin from another part of your body, like your back. The healthy skin is carefully placed over the burned area and stitched into place.
This is disgusting.
Gradually, the graft slowly integrates with the surrounding skin, forming new blood vessels to keep the new skin alive.
Wow. I think that one's gonna be a D tier. I don't like that one. I don't like that one.